Welcome to the WPL Book Drop Podcast. I'm your host, Becky Miller, Circulation and Marketing Assistant at Waterloo Public Library. Joining us today is Dusty, Library Assistant, also at Waterloo Public Library. Dusty is an ordained minister via the internet.
Very professional.
He is also a dungeon master for Dungeons and Dragons. What does that entail?
I mean, a dungeon master sets the tone for the entire campaign. They write out the campaign. They set up the locations, the non-playable characters. They create conflict for characters to go through. They are a god.
I was going to say, it sounds like God.
Very omnipotent. But it's fun.
You just set up the world and everything. So, how did you get that responsibility?
I've done a couple campaigns, and I wanted to do one on my own, so I started off with like a basic preset one, and we went through it with a group, and now we've just kind of morphed into doing a little bit more.
Okay.
It's a lot, but it's really, really fun.
You do this with your friends? How many people are involved?
We have 5 campaigners at this point, which is a good place. You don't want too many, because there's just too many people with their own opinions on what should be happening and trying to control things, but you want enough that it's still creative, so it's a good group.
All right. And Dusty is also an enthusiastic supporter of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
So excited for Breath of the Wild too.
So for people that don't know anything about gaming, what is that?
So Zelda is a Nintendo franchise that's been going on for 30 some odd years. Breath of the Wild came out in 2017 on the Nintendo Switch and was one of their most popular games that came out. It's an open world Zelda game which has never been done before, so that means you can go anywhere in this massive expansion and do whatever you want. It's also one of the first games that I've ever played that is very physics based, so if you hit something, maybe it will start flying somewhere else. Everything is controlled by the weight of whatever it is that you're controlling. It's really cool. And then you get to fight goblins and stuff.
Goblins?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bokoblins and yeah.
Is there like world building, or are you kind of set within the confines of the game?
There is a side campaign where you build a village called Terry World, which is pretty fun. But there's not a lot of... You can build your own little cottage and have like places to hang your shield and your bows, but that's about it.
Do you win this game, or do you just keep playing it?
There is an end to the game. You defeat Calamity Ganon, who is the penultimate evil in the world that's been terrorizing this place for about 100 years. I like this game a lot.
So, is there like a part 2 coming out or something? Yeah,
so they haven't released a lot of information. They've given some test footage for Breath of the Wild 2, and there was a prequel game that came out 2 years ago, but it wasn't exactly the same style of gameplay. This one was more of you're fighting like hundreds of bokoblins at the same time with a giant sword, and I didn't like it as well. But the new one looks just beautiful.
Great. Well, welcome back to the podcast, Dusty.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
All right, so since this is your second visit to the podcast, let's just go ahead and remind our listeners, what do you do here?
I'm doing a little bit of everything still. So I do tech services, so I help with tech appointments for individuals who might have issues with their laptop, with the Google Suite, with their phones. I also teach monthly classes for Android. I'm in the circulation department, so I help with checking in, checking out, the Dropbox, any patron requests that are down there. I'm up in the reference department, so if you have questions, you can always come up and ask us. We've been getting a lot of like tax questions lately, so we've been trying to help people get their taxes in as soon as possible, and getting their forms. We're both passport acceptance agents, so anybody that has a passport that they need sent in, we can help you organize and send that in. I do programming, so I do a monthly board game night, which has been growing, and we're hoping to get funding for more board games coming up. What else do I do? Oh, Bookaholics. I run a monthly book club. Next month's book, Kitchens of the Great Midwest, was an excellent read, so I'm really excited to have a good discussion about that. I do a little bit of everything.
We're keeping you busy here.
Yeah, you are.
Well, the reason that we have you on the podcast today is because you helped plan the upcoming Adult Summer Library Program. Can you tell us what you have planned for this summer and when does the program start?
So the program, we are asking people to register as soon as possible. I believe open registration starts June 1st. The Waterloo Public Library website will have information on registration, and that will key you in on all of the programs that we've got going on throughout the summer. Registering also gets you into some of our prize pools that we've got going on.
Prizes?
Lots of prizes.
What are the prizes?
This year's prizes, just for registering, are 2 tickets either to the Lost Island theme park, which will be opening up June 3rd.
Ooh.
I know, or the Lost Island Water Park. So you get 2 tickets for one or the other. And we're doing 2 groups of those tickets. So we're giving out 4 tickets to our local theme park, which is super cool. I'll be there opening day.
And all you have to do is register?
All you have to do is register.
What's required for registration?
We want to know your name and your birth date to know if you fit into the young adult section, the teen section, or the adult section, just because those are kind of geared towards certain age groups. Yeah. And I think we want an email address so that we can keep you updated and actually get you entered into the raffles that we've got for the other programming that we've got going on this summer.
Okay, so sounds pretty easy.
It's super easy.
Don't have to cut off your leg or anything to enter.
I don't think we'll take them.
So what is going to happen during the Adult Summer Program? What are the special events that we have happening?
So our theme this year is Beyond the Beaten Path. So we were trying to think of creative things that are Iowa specific or Iowa adjacent, and things that are maybe a little bit different that you don't always associate with Iowa. And I have got the list here, which is going to help me out so much. So June 11th is going to be the first one that we're doing. That's the Villisca Axe Murder House. That is a town in Iowa called Villisca that was home to a horrific slaughtering of, I believe, 6 or 7 family members.
This actually happened.
This actually happened about a century ago. I actually was there about 20 years ago, and it's a super creepy house.
Yeah.
There have been movies about it. There have been quite a bit of books written about it. The killer has never been found. So super creepy.
Yeah.
But
so what is this program?
I believe they're just discussing the Villisca Axe murders. They're talking about the location, the mystery behind it, the facts that are still presented, and then maybe a little bit of speculation as to who it was, what actually happened. It's also a location that's deemed to be quite haunted, so there might be a little bit of a supernatural element to it as well. I don't know that that's up to our controller. Haley is doing that program, but it sounds super creepy, but super interesting at the same time.
Okay.
All right, and then next, one of our newer employees, Sarah, is going to be doing our paint decorating of bricks. So this one, they're taking old bricks, painting over it to look like a spine of a book label. And so you do the spine of it, the front cover and the back cover. You paint it up to make it look like a regular book title, and then you can use it as like a bookend, or you can use it just as regular decorations. She's making stamps so that you can make it look like really decorative and specific for a certain title. She's going to have certain things stenciled out already, and then she puts a gloss over it afterwards, after you're done painting it, so that it looks really clean. And it looks really cool.
Yeah, I've seen some of those. They're going to be awesome. And you can keep them in your garden, too, like as a yard decor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be really cool. And I think that's a take and make, but you don't take it that day because it takes a while for the paint to dry. And then if you want, she puts a gloss over it so that if you do leave it outside, the paint will last quite a bit longer. So you could do some bookends in your garden and keep it there for a number of years.
And I think that's one of the programs that will require registration on, just for, to limit the number of people that can come,
Yeah.
so we have enough supplies.
Well, and last year we did a paint pour, and the registration filled up so quick on it. So we knew that the take and makes and the ones that we thought were going to be really popular, especially with the limited amount of supplies. We needed the registration. So again, more reason to register as soon as possible so you know you can get on all those good spots.
And the registration for the adult summer program will be on June 1st, and then we'll also open up the registration for the individual events the same day.
Yeah.
So check the library's website for that. And then I think you have another event, Nate's Triumph.
Yes, Nate's Triumph. So I actually have, he is a local Iowa author. I have the brief blurb that he wrote about it. So Nate Traynor is going to speak about his experience growing up with Joubert syndrome. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, so I'm sorry. Not being able to communicate with words until he was 21 years old. And this is going to be in conjunction with the summer reading program. He's going to speak for approximately an hour, followed by a short time to sell his book.
And you might have heard about his book. He was featured in the Waterloo Courier recently.
Oh,
so
cool.
if you saw him in there, this is your chance to come and see. And then I think he'll be selling copies of his book there as well.
And it sounds like a really cool story, so that one would definitely be a good book author to check out.
Absolutely.
And that one's going to be June 25th. And that one I don't believe we're requiring registration.
No,
That's first
yep.
come, first serve for that one at 10. The next one that's going to require registration is our paint pour. This is another one that we did last year and was really well received, so we're doing it again. That one will be in the garage, and it's basic. I think it's the paint drip that we did before, where like a pendulum of paint, you kind of pop a hole in the bottom and you let it just kind of glide over the paint, and it just creates really cool designs on the palette. So that one sounds really cool.
Abstract art.
Something to keep and cherish forever.
That's right.
And it just looks cool. I think those are really neat. And that one will be July 2nd. And then the next one is going to be yours, the Beyond the Beaten Path library tour.
You said that, and I was like, what am I doing?
But it just sounds really
Yes,
interesting.
Yes, Beyond the Beaten Path library tour. So we are going to do a behind-the-scenes tour of the library. So it'll be Amy and I. Amy does the marketing here at the library. She's the marketing manager. And we will take a tour of the library's first floor and the second floor and third floor. You'll see some of the behind the scenes and maybe hear some ghost stories because creepy things happen in our building.
Yeah, more than I would have imagined.
Yes.
No basement viewing?
I think we might go down to the basement. Yeah. We're going to keep the lights on though.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. For
Coming-
safety reasons.
Well, and first thing in the morning, if you come down to the basement, that's a creepy area.
It is pitch black down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that can be for Halloween.
Yeah, we've done that.
All right, and then I have the next one. So it's going to be trivia night. We did this last year, and the people that attended really liked it, so we're doing another one. That is July 12th. We are not requiring registration for this one. It's first come, first serve. It's out at the amphitheater. If we have inclement weather, we'll bring it into our conference rooms. But it is a series of 4 groups of 10 questions, and they are all geography-ish based. So the first 10 questions are Waterloo specific. The second one is Iowa specific questions, and then national parks, and then world trivia. It's gonna be pretty hard questions, I think. It's multiple choice. You don't have to be good at trivia. More than anything, you just learn a little bit about Waterloo, learn a little bit at Waterloo and Iowa based, and then the national park stuff and world stuff I think is just kind of fun.
It is really fun, but just a warning to our listeners, Dusty has really hard trivia.
That's why I wanted to rephrase it like it's a learning trivia.
It is a learning trivia. And it's multiple choice, like you said. So
And I might be a little maniacal. I really wanted the questions to be hard, but I think it's kind of
everyday sadist.
No, I don't take pleasure in the discomfort of not knowing an answer. It's just fun.
It is fun.
And it's outside in the amphitheater. We're encouraging people to come in groups. It's a pretty good time. Last year that we did this was really fun. So.
Okay.
And that's July 12th. The next one that we've got, the last adult library program that we have, is the planet painting. Another paint one that we're going to be doing in the garage on July 16th. Again, registration is required for this one. But this one, they're literally painting like a giant globe, right? Like a foam globe.
I don't know. I think you might be wrong on that.
I could definitely be wrong. Or is it it's the circular flat one, you're right.
Yep. I think they have a canvas, and then they're like gonna paint that, and then paint over top of the bowl or something.
So that it looks like a planet with like a darker...
I'm not sure on the order of that. I'm not the painting type. I'm glad someone's doing that.
You're going to have a planet by the end of the day.
Yeah, that's right. On canvas.
And yes, on canvas. You're right. Yep. And this is another one that it's going to be left overnight so that it can dry. So you don't get it that day, but we let it cure, and then we give you a call when it's all finished up to take home.
Awesome. So that's all the events, I think, for the Adult Summer Library Program. I think we have to talk about the prizes.
We get to talk about the prizes.
Yes, we get to.
So there is the Adventure, Lost Island, Lost World ones that's just for signing up. Then for every event that you come into, you get signed up for a prize for that event. And there's a raffle for each event that you come to. And each event that you come to, you can win 2 prizes. One of them is just a $20 gift card to downtown Waterloo. And so that can be used at any of the locations that work with the downtown Waterloo group. And there are tons of restaurants and shops and stuff. So that's awesome. And then there is another, you can choose from one of 7 places that we've partnered up with: Sidecar Coffee, Single Speed Water Location, Newton's, Basil, Highway 63 Diner, Mersim's, and Tri-Pie. So you can win another $20 gift card. So that's $40 altogether just for coming to an event that's free and provided by the Waterloo Public Library.
That's right. So it will be a drawing, correct? So you don't get it just for coming.
Correct. No, that's a drawing. And so if it's a big group, your chances aren't great. But if you come to all of the events,
you have more chances
to win.
Okay.
And then we are also doing an activity sheet. Is that for the big prize?
Yeah, that's right. There's going to be an activity sheet that what you'll get when you register. So you can register in person or you can register online. If you come down in person, you can get your activity sheet and then fill that out for the summer. It's just fun stuff like reading a book, listening to a radio program, just fun activities for your summer. And then if you fill that out and turn it in, you will get an entry into the grand prize.
The big one.
Can you tell us what's in the grand prize?
So many things. You get a lantern, like a camping lantern. It's charged up with a USB cord. It's got a great battery life. I've got one. It's pretty awesome. A Shields gift card that was donated to us by the corporation for $50.
Wow.
It's pretty big. You get a blanket with it. There's a s'mores kit that helps you set up for making little s'mores at home. There's a puzzle. There's a book called Iowa Off the Beaten Path. That's actually really cool. Just things for different parts of Iowa. A lot about state parks too, like little known facts in there. So I like that book. There's an Iowa map, a book bag, and an inflatable lounger.
What is an inflatable lounger?
It sounds like a lounger that's inflatable.
Oh my goodness.
Thinking it's something just to relax in it, inside, outside. I remember having those inflatable couches that popped right away. I think this is a little bit nicer than that.
Yeah, I actually saw what this looks like. It's like fabric based, and then you open it up, kind of like, what are those things that people like burlap sack almost? You open it like that, and then you just spin around and grab air with it, and then you close it, and it's inflated, so you don't need an air pump or anything, so you can be anywhere.
Oh, those are super cool.
Yes.
Oh.
So you really want to win this prize?
Yeah. I wish I could win this prize.
Well, you can't. You're on staff.
I know. But the swag bag this year is approximately $200. Activity sheets are due by July 30th, and then the drawing takes place on August 1st. So.
Right. So definitely participate. And I think you said the Lost Island tickets, I think that's in the first couple of weeks, where if you sign up within the first couple of weeks of the program, you qualify for that drawing.
Yep, that one is July 17th is the cutoff date for those. So make sure to register early so you learn about our events and keep informed about all of the programs that we've got, and then you get entered in for some sweet tickets.
Okay. So before we wrap up, are there any books that you've read recently that you enjoyed and want to share with our listeners?
I should have prepped for this better. I just finished Kitchens of the Great Midwest by J. Ryan Strahal. It's a kind of local book. He talks a lot about Des Moines, about a couple smaller fictitious Iowa locations, but it's a lot about this woman who is raised in the Midwest on very local foods. So weird fish up in Minnesota, like the fluke fish, and then like the Iowa bars that people take to like events. There's a big thing about like the best bar in the Midwest. And it's an interesting book. Like each chapter is a different person from this woman's life talking somewhat about her. So you garner a little bit more about this person just from their events, but it's not necessarily about her, but you're kind of piecing things together. It was written really well. I didn't think I would like it, but by the end of it, I really wanted to find out what happened with her and her family. So that was great. There is a graphic novel that I just finished called The Labyrinth. Not based on the movie, unfortunately. Aww. I know. But that's kind of why I picked it up with David Bowie. This is...
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Oh, this is I believe he's a Scandinavian illustrator. He's an artist, and he created these post-apocalyptic images and realized he could create a story out of it. And so it's really, really cool artwork. And it's not a true-to-form graphic novel. There's not dialogue on each page. There's actually a story on one side and then this beautiful hand-painted image on the other side. And so they kind of create this very creepy, probably a little dark, but it's really cool storyline. So I really like that one. That one's in our new graphic novels. And then I'm currently reading Dopestick, which was a Hulu original TV series. This is a book published a couple years ago about the opioid epidemic. Not really fun, but it's really, really interesting. And I loved the series on Hulu, so that's going to be the next month's Bookaholics. So I wanted to read up on that one, and then I might read something fun for myself.
All right, Dusty. Sounds like you've been busy.
Yeah, I've been busy.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today on the WPL Book Drop Podcast. It's really been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Happy to be here. Thank you.
If you liked today's episode, be sure to leave a rating and subscribe. Thank you.